Ridhi, a warm welcome to you on Filme Shilmy. Wishing you a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year as well.
I wish you the same. Happy holidays.
And also a huge congratulations on a very successful year. I mean, The Married Woman has been the talk of 2021, I think. It's been definitely among the lists that have been compiled. It's always amongst the must-watch series from this year. So how does it feel to sort of get that reaction and to end the year with such a great series?
It's a good feeling. I think as an actor, you want to do work that people consume and they watch, and when that happens like this, it's always a great feeling. I mean, that is the endeavor with everything you do as an artist. So it's a good feeling that people have appreciated and loved the married woman so much, and it's definitely got a lot more love from people than I expected. And I love that people have made it their own. They've made the story their own. They made the show their own. So that's a great feeling.
And I think it's a really interesting story as well because we have seen LGBTQIA issues explored a lot recently. We had Made in Heaven before, Ek Ladki Ko Dekha as well. We had. What sort of conversations do you think have started from the married woman? Has there been a significant change, do you think, in the style of conversations arising, especially regarding same-sex relationships?
I hope so. I mean, I wouldn't know, but I do know that there's a lot of change that's happened in the world over the past few years collectively. So a married woman could be coming in at a really good time. Also, I feel what the show did, because while I was shooting it, I understood what was happening. You are basically going into the home of a homemaker, right, so to speak. You've taken an actor who's done a lot of television work, so you're basically bringing in a lot of viewers who are used to seeing me on television, and then making them comfortable to making them comfortable about a very, very sensitive topic,
True.
so
Mm.
I felt like that was a great thing to happen. I mean, I know it happened on its own, and it was not something that was ever planned to be done this way. But while I was filming, I knew that this is what's going to happen. And I guess that is important. More conversations need to be had, more and more stories need to be told. People with various sexual preferences or however they see themselves need to be represented. They need to know that they are normal. They need to know that there's no big fuss. We don't need to cry, or we don't need to make it sad, because that's not how they should look at themselves. And I feel Married Woman did that. It did that beautifully. There was you saw this girl. She has a home, she's a mother, she's got it all, she's got everything. She's not even grown up with feeling that she's gay, or she's ever liked a woman, and then she suddenly likes a woman. So what it does is it takes a normal person in that world, and then you're like, hey, it's normal.
Mm.
That's what the Married Woman did. Somewhere subconsciously, I feel like when I was filming, that's what I felt, because you've taken this perfectly normal girl who's got two kids, she's got a husband, she's very happy in her marriage, and her marriage is like any other marriage is, at least in our country. And then you bring a girl in, and she falls for that girl, and you're basically saying that I will go where respect is, I will go where I'm loved. You're not really saying that, oh, something is wrong with me, that's why now she fulfills me. You're just saying that whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. And Peeplika says that a lot in the show, in the series as well, that I fall in love with the gender. So concepts like that woven into storytelling is, I think, brilliant, because it
Mm.
just, you're not in your face with it, but you're still making that point.
Absolutely. And I think it's also about putting yourself first. I mean, that's what I took away from The Married Woman. It's also about, you know, prioritizing yourself in life, and there's nothing wrong in
Yeah,
doing that, especially in
yeah,
today's climate, where mental health and um putting oneself is always at the forefront of every conversation. So I
yeah.
guess at this point in your life, how closely were you able to resonate with that sentiment of putting yourself first and self-caring and self-loving in that sense?
I guess that is the thing to talk about. Everyone talks about it. I had my own self discovery some years ago. I think after I did this reality show on television called Khatro Ke Khiladi, which is an
Yes,
Indian
yes, yes.
version of Fear Factor.
Right.
And I actually discovered myself on that show. So while we were fighting, we were doing various stunts and we were putting ourselves out there. I figured, my inner voice, so to speak, while I was on that shoot. And ever since then, I have been on a journey of sorts of my own self, and finding out more about myself and just being more true to who I am, and my authentic voice. It's been very important to me. So for me, a married woman was I was very happy to be a part of a show where the character that I was playing was discovering herself, and she was in the process of finding out, or rather standing up for herself and saying, "Hey, I have a voice." It was extremely special to me. I was very happy to do it because I know the joy of finding your own voice. I know the joy of going on that journey on your own, and wanting to just be who you are authentically. And that doesn't really mean that you're bringing anyone else down. It just means that I want to celebrate myself for whatever I am. So because I've gone through that inner work or inner engineering or inner journey, whatever you may call it, I was very happy to play a character, because I know that there will be millions of women, at least in our country, who could who would find themselves in it, and maybe they'll find a voice.
Right. And I think, Riddhi, I mean, I've watched a lot of your series. I mean, I think for me, my fondest memory of you is obviously in Maryada. I mean, I think what a great show that was. And I would love to see a season two if there's ever a possibility of that happening. But that would be really incredible if that happened. And again, I think Maryada also touched upon LGBTQIA topics as well. In fact, it was a very, very important storyline, I think, of the series. Again, you've done The Married Woman. Asur, you've done again, which also talks about certain social issues. So is subconsciously societal conversation something which attracts you to a project, or the sort of style of series you like to do as well?
I think my personality attracts these things. I am not really setting out to getting these things for myself, but I think maybe that's the energy I'm giving out. Even the feature that I'm doing a feature film called Lakkadbaga. Even
Yes.
that when I heard it, it was about animal cruelty, and
Oh,
I was like, "There's no way I'm going to let this go." So I don't know if these projects find me, but I'm very happy that. I find them or they find me, whatever it is. But yes, I do feel that as a person, beyond just being an actor and an artist, it is my endeavor to do that. It is my endeavor to just live a life of some consequence. I'll be very honest. I don't want to just come here and eat all the food and eat and travel to the world and spend money and die. I want to do something. So I do feel that that is my wish as a person, that I do things of consequence, whether big or small, whether it's television, it's OTT or films, or as an actor or as a person. I want to do a little more than I take. I want to give a little more than I take. So whether it's telling stories or being part of stories or giving my energy to certain kind of work, yes, I would prefer to do that over I'm saying it out loud, over doing a big hero film where I'm just standing in a corner,
yeah,
or where I'm
absolutely.
just made to look pretty. I've never wanted to do that, and I don't think I can do that.
Absolutely. And I've also realized like there's not a stereotype, but I feel like often if you are an actor who does really well on television, people brand you as television actor. And I've had this conversation with a few other fellow actors too. How do you feel about that branding? And do you feel like with successful series like married woman, doing well on the OTT front. Do you think that branding now is changing a lot? Do you think that people are using that tag a lot less now? Television actor.
So I don't really know about others, but I'll tell you this about me. I don't care what people say. I don't really pay much attention to what people call me. If they call me a television actor, or they call me this or that. I don't care, because I always remember the girl I was who started acting the day she did. There was no one telling me I could do it or I could not do it. I just did what I wanted to do. I was winging it along the way. I did what my heart said. I was instinctive. And I think I'm going to keep doing the same thing. So while I do know that people, I've also had these conversations where people say, oh, everyone says it in third person, that, other people say you are TV actors. No one will ever say it to you. But it's amusing to me. I look through these things because I've honestly had a lot of these conversations, a lot of casting people, a lot of producers, a lot of people who will say, other people say this, that, TV actors are like this. Whereas I'm sure they're part of those conversations sitting in those rooms.
Probably
I
are,
don't
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really care. I just feel like what matters to me is my work. And whatever, big, small, I get the opportunities I get. It's my life and it's what's coming to me, and I have to deliver. So if I deliver, that's a point one for a television actor who's trying to do something on a different medium, and that's it. My work will speak. So if today people compliment me for Asur, or I get calls for more work from the work I've done, it's still that television actor who is getting all this work. So I am like, my work is speaking for myself and for all television actors. I don't think we should sit anymore and talk about how people look down upon television actors, because we have another world out there of opportunities. And I think we should tap those opportunities rather than give room to these conversations, because I truly feel that they are pointless. What do I feel about being a television actor? Yes, I've faced those things of, we can't cast you because you're a TV actor. But did that stop me? No. I went and auditioned for 5 other things. So I'm not going to give, I don't think even my other television actor friends, I do, and the few of them who are trying to come out of their zones and they're trying to do what they're doing, we are very happy about the television tag. It's taught us everything. Put me in a room with the biggest actors, but give me a page full of script and tell me you have to cry, laugh, I will do it. It's my training from television that's made it possible for me to do. So I have a lot of I absolutely take pride in the fact that I've done television, and I genuinely feel that a lot of things have changed now. I mean, whether it's Radhika or Mrunal is a friend. I feel very happy that they're doing what they're doing, and it's the work. They're also working. They're working, so it's changing, right?
Yeah.
So that's all there is. You keep working and people will keep erasing what they were saying, and they'll say new things. And soon enough, the good people, the good actors, or the good technicians also, whether they're on television or any other medium, you will flourish and you will bloom if it's in you. Just don't listen to external voice.
That is so true. And yes, Mrunal is also a very dear friend of mine, actually, and I'm very proud of the journey she's having so far.
Exactly.
I just got the
And you know what? I know. I mean, I'm sure if she's a friend, that's a journey she envisioned for herself in her mind. The journey she's on right now. So who's to say what to you? You can do whatever you want to, and you can achieve whatever you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's very true. But I think I'm going to take it a bit back, actually, Ridhi, and I know it's probably difficult for you to answer, but why do you think the stereotype appeared in the first place? I mean, because obviously, clearly, the reach that television has is actually extremely powerful. I mean, a lot of people would recognize your character in the series more than you at times as well, because that's how powerful it is. So why do you think the stereotype existed in the first place?
I wouldn't be able to answer that completely clearly, because I don't know when it came along. But I do feel, I mean, from whatever you observe as an audience and also as a member of this industry, there is a certain callousness in the working style of television. There is, and I'm not saying it's across television, but there's a certain not anymore though, because I think there's been a lot of reality check over the last few years, and people know exactly how things go. And but people in television did have this notion that they are stars, and I feel that they started believing that they are as big as film actors, or people who draw box office. People who are hit on television thought we are the same. And I think that's where they made a mistake. I genuinely feel that, because it's great to feel grateful for the love you get. It's great to feel, yes, I have all this love, and to be accepting of it. But to think that you're like Amitabh Bachchan is a bit too much, so you don't put yourself in that bubble. If other people put you in that bubble, that's okay. It's them doing it. But sometimes people were putting themselves in a bubble. And I think that somewhere people went wrong. I'm just saying, as actors, what others did, I don't know. I can't say how media portrayed. All that goes along, right? But I genuinely feel that you can't lose a sense of where you are. You've got to, even today, I mean, I think thanks to OTT and thanks to all the platforms, we who've come out of television, we are not thinking, oh, I know it all, just give me an opportunity and I'll show you. We are thinking there are opportunities. I have to get in and add value and show that I am not just an actor you think I am on a medium. I can do a lot more. If that is the intention, then it's different. But if the intention is, you give it to me and I'll nail it, that's a different attitude. I mean, even when I said, give me a page and I'll show you how I cry and all, it's not coming out of arrogance. It's coming out of, I know my work, so if you give it to me, I'll add value to it. I will not, I'm not in a bubble here thinking I'm a star. And, so I feel like maybe that's where people went wrong. But this was before I entered television. After I entered television, I've only seen a lot of people trying to, a lot of people having a lot of reality checks. I've only seen that. And I've seen people doing the work that they can do, doing, the medium that they can, and literally putting in the hard work and unlearning. I know a lot of actor friends who've done pay workshops, including me, to unlearn what we know, to unlearn what, bubbles may have built inside us. So yeah, people are putting in the work, and as I call it, tapasya. Ye tapasya bahut zaruri hoti hai. So I feel like that's happening. So now it's different.
That's very true as well. But you know what, Nidhi, I think what also sometimes I mean, I'm not a public figure, but I think I resonate and I kind of feel a lot for public figures, because whenever there's a relationship involved and whenever there's stuff involved, if it breaks, if it makes, it's always in the news, approached by media people about your personal life, because obviously everything is so transparent and on camera. How do you feel about that, Ridhi? I mean, what sort of thoughts go across your mind when you are approached about a previous relationship or anything that's personal to you?
I'm very clear on, actually, I'm a little bit sorted, because I like to approach everything with a bit of honesty, and also at the same time, I know where to draw the line, and I know where to get that line drawn from people, whether you're a journalist or you're a friend or you're anybody. So I think that clarity and honesty helps. And I mean, whether it's my relationship with my ex-husband or whatever it is, I've always been very, very open and honest and very clear. And, even when I remember when we had to, when news came out about me and Rakesh separating, we were getting a lot of calls from people in the media to have a comment. They were calling our friends. And I remember I told Rak that day, I said, Rak, now it's going to go out. They're going to write whatever they want to. Let's just give a statement. Because if we say it, then it just puts an end to everything. So that's the kind of approach I have. I'm very upfront, and I am very open about whatever I have to say and how much I have to say, and that's all you get. And honestly, I don't take it. I'm not, I'm not the busiest. I'm not the biggest star of the world. That there's so much media on me that I don't know how to handle it. But whatever comes my way, I do handle it humanly. I handle it in a way that I understand that they would want to know. I understand that the media would be interested, but I also know that this is how much I'm going to say, because at the end of it, it is my life. It's not, that's not for your consumption. You're not paying me every day to exist. If you
Very true.
were,
Yeah.
it would be different.
But you know, I'm just so fascinated because I think it's so refreshing to hear this, Riddhi, because you know, सब कहते हैं कि मैं सुलझा हुआ हूँ, लेकिन वो खुद उलझन में होते हैं, you know, and I think I'm talking for myself also here. But how do you stay so sorted? Like, what keeps you so like sorted in life?
I think I'm so unsorted in my head that I have to keep myself sorted.
So basically, it's what I just said.
Exactly. No, I think I'm actually a very sensitive person. I'm extremely sensitive. I'm a very, very emotional person. I get drawn by not just my emotions, by other people's emotions also. I'll spend days and nights thinking of something I've heard. Or so I'm a very sensitive person. And when you're that sensitive, and on top of that, you're an actor, so you're using your sensitivity for camera and for your characters, so it's it can get heavy. So you've got to keep your balance. It's important. Like, if I have to be in this profession, and if I have to do what I do, then I have to I like to keep myself balanced, because it helps me. When I'm not balanced, I'm out of sorts. I'm feeding off too much energy, and I can't afford it, because I get it affects me. So, and when I say it affects me, I mean, like, it pulls my mood down, or I'll think about one thing and it'll just stay in my head, or I'll think of how helpless I am in a certain situation if it's about somebody else. It's just out of my control. It causes anxiety, it does all sort of things to you. So I like to keep my balance, and I like to keep reminding myself few principles to go by, that just relax, calm down.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree with that. But you know, I think
Yeah.
really it's also very important. Like, I think I've realized this quite later actually in my career, where empathy in our fields, be it as a journalist or as an actor, I feel like empathy is very important, you know, because I think we have to be open to understanding people, even if they do come from the darker spectrum of life or the darker spectrum of personalities. How much do you think it's that empathy that really helps you as well as an artist to sort of play the characters that you have played? Because you've never stuck to a specific genre or a specific style. You've always molded yourself as well.
I mean, I don't know how you can develop empathy. I have empathy.
Mm.
I'm working on my compassion levels, but I have empathy. I understand people's emotions and feelings, and yes, it is very important for me as an artist, or even as a storyteller, to have empathy, because without empathy, I cannot really understand the emotions that a character could be feeling, who's very different from me. So it is important, but it's not a prerequisite. I mean, I know people who are great on camera. They just know how to turn it on, and they know how to give what is needed, and then they move on, and they don't really have a method. They are more instinctive. Even I'm instinctive as an actor, but I do need, like, if my character has to cry, I do try and put myself in her shoes, at least for 10 minutes before the scene, if not much. Like, just yesterday, we were shooting, and there was a scene when, I was shooting for Asur, and Nusrat had to cry. And I, I take pride in the fact that I cry my own tears.
Mm.
So I
Oh,
remember I
good.
was sitting. I was sitting there, and I, asked for 5-10 minutes, and I got into the space, and then I cried and I cried and I cried. And I told my director, I said, thank you so much for giving my personal pain a space to out to let it out. And
Mm.
everybody was laughing, but it's true. I mean, it's just the nature of our work. I mean, you also as a journalist, yeah, you can't write whatever you wish to write, because there's power in your pen.
Yeah,
There's
true.
power in your words. Every word that you write makes a lot of difference. Unfortunately, I feel in the world that we are in today, people are forgetting that. They are forgetting that it's important to be empathetic. It's not cool to be empathetic, like how authenticity is now suddenly very cool. I don't think empathy is something, unfortunately, it is like that now people look at empathy or authenticity like that. But I feel like, these things should be a given. We are human beings, and we should generally just give each other that space, that you're another human being and I see you. And, I, for whatever you are, you may be different than me or you may be like me, but I see you, you exist. That's
Yes,
important.
very true. And
Yeah.
I see a lot of your tweets sometimes as well, and the way you respond back to a lot of blue tick trolls, and a lot of hate as well on social media. I think the way you respond back to them with so much dignity and grace is actually very admirable. So I just wanted to also point that out to you.
That's so sweet. Thank you. I
And I
just genuinely feel like, why should I get dirty? B, I feel like most people who talk like that either want attention or they want something, they want those 10 seconds of fame. So just be nice to them. They're getting it, they're doing it. Just be nice to them. And if I can add a little humor, sometimes I'm told I'm not very funny. I'm told my sense of humor is shit, although I feel my sense of humor is really British, but
oh,
it's very
lovely.
straight. Yeah, I think so. But people don't get it here in India. So what do I
I
do?
don't. Yeah, I know. Trust me, there's certain words I use and the way I speak. Like, sorry, what did you say? I'm just like, हाँ ये वो मतलब, and then I have to go to Hindi और फिर समझ आते हैं. I'm just like, चलो ठीक है. We're not lost in translation at all. But yeah, I relate. I do relate. I do
I've
resonate.
not even lived there, but I feel like I see shows and I meet people and I feel like, I think I'm very British in my humor.
Come live, come stay in London, come, please.
I will.
No, but I think really, on the final note, I think it's exciting because I think you're set to make your Bollywood debut, like you said, with Lakkadbaga, and I think you're playing a Kolkata-based cop in that, right? Where it again talks about animal rights. Again, I don't think I've seen you play many cop roles, if I think if any before, to be very honest. So, how was your experience of stepping into that cop universe zone, where you are playing a sort of law keeper? And what was your reference point for that?
I mean, I have to say something about the debut I'm making. It suddenly, I mean, I know it suddenly I was like, oh yeah, it's my debut. It's a debut. Oh, it's a debut. But I don't look at it. I don't look at things like that. I don't look at things like, oh, now I'm making a debut. Now I don't put any bracket around me. So for me, it's just projects. It's just me. I'm an actor. I have the want to play different parts, and wherever it takes me. But I'm very happy I'm doing the film, and it's a great bunch of people. About playing a cop, well, I have played a cop. I did a short film, and it's so funny. It's not come out, but I think I was playing an army officer in that. So I was playing a woman in uniform, and it came around the same time as the Me Too movement. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, it didn't come out. We shot it at that time. I'm sure they'll bring it out whenever. It's a really strong and a good story. And I remember I was bashing up boys who, in that story. So I was feeling a great sense of relief that, here there's this Me Too movement going about, and I'm actually like thrashing these guys. But it's I've always played strong parts, whether it's Priya in Maryada, or even
Savitri as well. Savitri.
Savitri, or it's there's a character I played in a ZTV show called Wo Apna Sa. I was playing
Yeah.
Nisha. She's an antagonist in the show. So all my characters have been strong, and I won't say I'm used to it, but I think I resonate with them. I cannot see a woman who's going to be saved by anyone else. I cannot imagine. I can't deal with that. Like, it's a problem for me, that a woman will be saved by a man. She's perfectly capable of taking care of herself like she does in real life. So for me, stepping into Akshara is the character's name, stepping into Akshara's shoes right after Nusrat. Actually, Nusrat is the character I play in Asur. It was for me, what was important was that I get it right, because yes, you're right, I've never played it. My reference point was a lot of women in uniform, and I'm an extremely observant person. I like, my observing skills are always on, like whether I'm sitting in a cafe, I could be talking to you, but my eyes are on people, and how they talk to each other and what they do. How women in uniform also talk, it's very amusing to me. I find it amazing that they are standing in sometimes a room full of 10, 15 men, and they are in charge. And also certain human intelligence of just how a person would be. And also we did a lot of workshops for this film. We did a lot of scene work, between me, Anshuman, and Paresh, who's playing another character called Aryan in the movie. So we did a lot of workshops, and I think 90% of our work was done in workshops, because we knew the characters in and out, and we had an understanding of what we are getting into. So definitely, I would have to give it to the team for thinking that we should do extensive workshops and figure out the body language, the mindset, everything. So yeah.
And you also have an MX Player film or series, I think, with Barun Sobti coming up as well. It's like a love story as well, right? So it must have been quite nice to sort of, I guess, let your hair down quite literally in a sort of love story. That must have been quite nice. And I like the pairing of you and Barun, actually. I never realized, like, I really like that pairing. I wish we saw that sooner, actually, a lot more. So how was that?
Oh, it was amazing. So I kept telling Barun, and we'll talk more about that the series when it is closer to coming out and all of that. But I have throughout the shoot, I kept telling Barun that I've never done something like this. I have never played a soft character. It's a love story. It's a rom-com. And I've never played anything like this. And I look at Barun, and he's family. He's almost like family. He's my brother's best friend.
Yes,
and
of course.
we hang out together all the time. He lives one floor below my house. So yeah. His wife is a very dear friend. I love his daughter. I'm playing with her every second evening in our building compound. So I was like, you're a pro at this. You know romance so well. I'm looking at you. How are you acting so well? And he's in front of me, and he's giving these expressions. And I'm like, wait a minute, I know what you're doing. You're doing these romantic expressions. You can act. And he's like, why are you getting so surprised? Of course I can act. And I was like, I didn't know you could do this. Look at you. You're doing these eyes. And yeah, we've had a good laugh over that, but more on that later. But it's been a brilliant experience. I'm just so happy that I've done something like that, because I've never done anything easy, fun, never. So it was great.
I can imagine. Well, look, I mean, Ridhi, I think it's so wonderful. I feel like, it's all manifesting, it's all turning out now for you. And I'm really genuinely hoping we get to see some more excellent work from you. I think whenever I've seen your name in series or anything, I know that there's going to be quality involved. I think that's why even when Married Woman came out, I was very, very fascinated by it. And I think that's why you are literally a game changer for us on Filme Shilmy as well. So a huge congratulations once again, and I cannot wait to catch up with you super soon on your upcoming projects.
Thank you so much, Anuj. Very kind of you, and everyone at in your team. I want to give everyone a lot of gratitude for putting me in that list. You really made my year.
Absolutely, it was our pleasure. But look, Ridhi, take care, and we'll catch up with you super, super soon.
Yes, you too. Happy holidays, and take care of yourself.
You too, Ridhi. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.